Good evening and welcome to the January 19, 2021 Board of Supervisors regular meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and if we could pledge the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Corporal, can you call roll?
Mr. Tosti,
Here.
Mr. Kizak,
Here.
Ms. Strauss,
Here.
Ms. Payne.
Here.
We also have Township Manager Mrs. Tully Coles, Township Solicitor Mr. Esposito, and Mr. Hine is sitting in for Township Engineer.
Thank you, Ms. Corporal. I'd like to just make a few announcements. The next Board of Supervisors meeting will be on February 1st, 2021 at 7 p.m. We have some upcoming events. We have the Wolfapalooza virtual race on January 1st to 31st. It's a fundraiser. This is sponsored by the Middletown Community Foundation. This is an event. This event is a race at your own pace virtual event with a wide range of distinct goals. Simply choose your goal, get moving, and record your distances. Proceeds will help the Middletown Police Department purchase and train a new police canine officer. No need to be a Middletown resident. You can participate anywhere in the world. And from what I just learned, Ms. Tilly Coles and Ms. Strauss are neck and neck and leading in the fundraising in this. Also, we have the 2021 Teen Talent Show, and that'll be virtual in January and February. And this is the Middletown Township is hosting its 16th annual Teen Talent Show. To safely show off the talents of our teens to our community this year, we are presenting our 2021 Teen Talent Show virtually. Whether your talent is singing, dancing, instrumental, or acting, whatever it is, we would like you to see it. All recorded performances will be judged on overall presentation, stage appearance, and presence, material performed, and organization. Please keep your performance no longer than 3 to 5 minutes long. Details on the submission can be found on the township website. And then moving on, Chief, we would like to swear in our new officer, Joseph Heller.
Thank you, Mr. Tosti. We're going to do a virtual swearing in this evening. Officer Heller was also sworn in this morning before Judge Kelly. He'll be sworn in this evening by you, the chairperson of the Board of Supervisors. So before I introduce Officer Heller, I'm just going to read a short biography on him. Officer Joseph Heller is 27 years old and a lifelong resident of Middletown Township. Joe graduated from Neshaminy High School, then went on to attend Bucks County Community College. He has worked as a part-time police officer for 3.5 years in Newtown Borough and 1.5 years in Bristol Borough. In his free time, he is an ice hockey player. Joe said he chose this profession because his grandfather was a Bucks County detective. He was inspired to follow in his grandfather's footsteps. So with that being said, I'm going to step out and introduce Officer Heller. He'll step in front of the camera to be sworn in.
Okay, thanks, Chief. Good evening, officer.
Good evening.
If you can raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Joseph Heller,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the ordinances of Middletown Township,
and the ordinances of Middletown Township,
with duty, honor, and fidelity
with duty, honor, and fidelity
as a Middletown Township police officer.
as a Middletown Township police officer.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck out there, and be safe.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Tosti. I'm going to mute and go off camera till we're up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Chief. With that, we'll move on to public comment to non-agenda items only. and I'll give it a minute, and Nick, let me know if there's any public comment. Anything, Mr. Val?
Nope, feel free to proceed.
Okay, thanks. We'll move on to number 4, consent agenda items. Letter A, consideration of authorizing payment of January 19, 2021 bill list in the amount of $2,541,847.92. Letter B, consideration of approving the minutes of the January 4th, 2021 public meeting of the Middletown Township Board of Supervisors. Letter C, consideration of approving construction escrow release number 8 in the amount of $25,275 for the Stonehaven Langhorne LLP. And letter D, consideration of approving construction escrow release in the amount of $63,894.75 for ECI Comfort West Gillum Avenue. Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda items?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any board questions? Is there any public questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Nay. Ayes have it, 5-0. Number 5, consideration of approving resolution number 21-02R number 21-05R, accepting the Bucks County Redevelopment Authority grants. Ms. Teoli-Coles?
Thank you. You have before you this evening resolutions 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the 4 RDA grants, which were granted to Middletown Township. And this is just a housekeeping formality to officially accept the grants.
Thank you, Ms. Poole. Is there a motion to accept the grants? Ms. Strauss?
I move to approve Resolution 2102R through 2105R.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seeing a motion and a second, is there any board questions? Is there any public questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Nay. Ayes have it, 5-0. Number 6, consideration of enacting ordinance number 21-02, the police pension amendment. Ms. Coles?
Thank you. You have in your packets this evening an ordinance which has been appropriately advertised. You'll recall that we've talked about this a couple of months ago. It's a minor change to effectuate the negotiations for our last contract. We noted a small item that was not included in the pension related to survivor benefit that is now included. So I would recommend that the board consider approving, please.
I'll make a motion to enact ordinance number 21-02, the police pension amendment. Is there a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
Ms. Payne? All right, there's a motion and a second. Is there any board questions? Any public questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Nay. Ayes have it, 5-0. Number 7, consideration of authorizing approval of purchasing 3 police vehicles. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Tosti. So we did request 4 vehicles this budget year. One of the vehicles that we requested is not going to be in production for about 6 months. So we will likely come back at that time and put in a request for that. But 3 of the other vehicles are actually ready to go now, and they all fit within the amount that we received through the RDA. That's 1 Charger and 2 Explorers, the upfit equipment. We are going to take cameras, computers, and radio out of the cars that we're taking out of service. So we're able to salvage them to save quite a bit of money on the purchase. And the one thing I want to mention, I mention it every year and I have to say it again, we are very fortunate in Middletown to have our two mechanics, Tommy Scott and Mike Gonzalez. They do a phenomenal job and they save us, it has to have been since I've been here, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just in labor and everything that they do to keep our fleet going. It's amazing the job that they do. And they're going to help us with this also to save a significant amount of money. So we were able to get everything in under the RDA, I think, except for a couple $1,000s that we need through capital. If there's any questions from any board members, I'd be happy to take them.
I'd just make a comment. I couldn't agree with you more with our two mechanics over there in Public Works. They do a great job and they do say they are a tremendous asset to our township. Is there any questions for the chief? If not, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of 3 police vehicles.
Do you want to actually read the motion with the amount in there, Dawn?
Yeah, I don't actually have it in here. Hold on one second. No,
I just want to get that in a minute.
nope, no problem. So I move to authorize the purchase of 2 2021 Ford utility vehicles and 1 2012 Dodge Charger with lighting and details from Chapman Auto Group with a total cost of $123,069.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Kizak, thank you. Any board questions? Is there any public questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Nay, ayes have it, 5-0.
Thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Tosti.
Thank you, Chief. Stay safe. Number 8, consideration of approving advertisement of a bid to replace the asphalt shingle roof and gutters at the community barn. Mr. Capara, is he on?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. How are you today?
There he is.
So the barn over at Community Park is a integral part of the Park and Rec programming. It's responsible for about $300,000 from 2019 in our revenue. So it's an integral part of both our efforts to do programming and for community use for parties and quilting. The roof is over 25 years old now, and the patches of roof are starting to blow off. So it's in need of repair. So we are asking permission to go to put it out to bid on Penn Bid later this month.
Any questions for Mr. Capara? I have a question, but it's not in reference to the shingles.
Okay.
I was wondering, since you had mentioned our programs over there, have we started looking at our summer camp there? And
We are planning on doing a summer camp. I am going to send out a letter to the community. We're planning 8 weeks from approximately June 20th through Friday, August 13th. We're going to start out with, we're scheduling about 250 children. At our peak, just for comparison, in 2019, we had over 520 unique children. So we're going to plan on a low threshold, operate through the 3 sites. And then as the virus gets better, it's easier to add people than to try and reduce people.
okay. Thanks for that update. Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Capara? All right, I'll move to authorize the advertisement to solicit bids for the new asphalt roof and gutters project on the barn at Middletown Community Park. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Payne. So there's a motion and a second. Is there any board questions? Any public questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it, 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Capara.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
With that, we'll move on to other business. Mr. Hine, do you have anything to report on?
I do not.
Mr. Esposito?
No reports, Mr. Tossi, but I do have one announcement just to announce that the board did hold an executive session prior to tonight's meeting to discuss a real estate matter as well as some ongoing litigation matters.
Thank you. Ms. Tioli? Coles?
Good evening. I do have one item for the board to consider. In the 2021 budget process, we allocated $30,000 in our fire protection fund for the volunteer firefighter and emergency response incentive. Last year was the first year that we started this program. And so I have received the notices from the 4 fire companies and the rescue squad certifying that there are 120 volunteers across the 5 different entities. The program includes a $250 payment for those volunteers who were active. And I would request the board's authorization to move forward with paying out those incentives for 2020.
I'll move to authorize the 2020 Volunteer Firefighter and Emergency Response Incentive.
Second. Oops.
Ms. Quirrell, second. There's a motion and a second. Any board questions? Any public questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it, 5-0. Ms. Strauss,
Nothing further. Thank you.
Mr. Kizak,
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. Payne,
Nothing.
Ms. Quirrell.
I just wanted to congratulate Officer Heller on being part of Middletown Township Police Department. That's all.
Thank you. And I'll just mention with the vaccine rollout, it's being rolled out in phases. Phase 1 was for our first line workers. Phase 2 is going to be starting to roll out, and there's a website from the county that you go on to register and sign up for. Mr. Valla will be putting that on our website tomorrow, hopefully, because the county just got some updated information. So I just wanted to let our residents know for phase 2, you're eligible to go now on and to register for the vaccine if you're interested in getting the vaccine for the COVID-19. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Move.
In motion and second, we're adjourned. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Good night.
Stay
Thanks.
safe.